Welcome to LUTV News InFocus, where we feature interesting topics on campus, in the community, and within the world of culture. I am Tre Sanchez. Although today's guest is known for being behind the camera, professional photographer Jarrod Brown is a familiar face within the Golden Triangle. He has captured fascinating moments from local high school sports, Lamar athletics, and even Beaumont's professional basketball team in their inaugural season, where I had the pleasure to work with him. Jarrod is here to share his keys on becoming a successful photographer, what his job entails, and what steps he took to become the professional he is today. Jarrod, so what sparked your interest in wanting to become a photographer, and what steps did you take in the beginning of your career?
So I've always enjoyed sports. I played sports throughout high school, and at some point in my high school career, I finally realized that I didn't have a shot at making it to college level or professional level. So took my interest in sports and decided I was going to start photographing it. So that's where I got my start. There was just photographing high school sports.
Okay, keeping the sports in the center of what you do.
Yeah.
So is photography what you do full time?
No, it's a part-time job for me, but I would love one day for it to become a full-time job. But as of right now, it's just a part-time.
Okay. And with that being a part-time job for you, would you consider this to be more of a passion for you than a job to kind of capture the moments that you do?
Yeah, it's definitely more of a passion than a career for me. But I do enjoy capturing those moments and sharing them with young athletes.
When you're behind the camera, I just got to know, what do you look for in the perfect shot?
Really, the emotion in the player's face. Try to capture their face in the shot. Try to get the emotion in their eyes and in the expressions on their face. I think that really tells the story of what's going on in the picture.
Okay. Are there any moments as a photographer that you've had that made you realize you really make an impact with the art that you create?
Yeah, I think for the most part, a lot of the images that I've created over the years, I've seen them shared. I've seen a lot of the athletes use those photographs. Some of these athletes have gone on to play Division I ball here at Lamar and other universities. Some of them have gone on to play overseas, and those images have been shared throughout the years, and it's great seeing these athletes continue on with their careers.
Yes, sir. That's pretty cool. So, do you ever have any athletes come reach out back to you, or kind of repost your pictures later down the line?
I do. I have a lot of athletes that they'll find some of my photos from the past, things that sometimes they didn't even know I had taken, and they'll reach out to me. Some of them will write me or call me and say, hey, did you happen to get any pictures of me when I was playing high school ball here or there? And I'll dig through the archives there and try to find something for them.
Yeah. What would you say is the biggest moment that you maybe have captured in your work?
The biggest moment? I don't know that I could narrow it down to one specific moment. Getting to work with the Beaumont Panthers this year in their inaugural season was pretty interesting. That was my first time shooting for a professional team, and I'd say that was probably a pretty exciting moment there.
Yeah, I could say working with you, I would have never known that was your first time doing that. Your work is really good. I remember, I could recall that one game where we both caught a good glimpse of that guy on the fast break getting that big dunk, and it kind of went viral on Instagram.
Yeah, I remember that one.
People really love that one. So your work is really incredible, and it does get out to people, and it definitely affects and impacts what goes on in sports out here in the Golden Triangle. When you're about to post your work, as a social media manager myself, I kind of don't know whenever things are going to pop off, or whenever things are kind of going to be like a flopping post. So whenever you're getting ready to post your work on social media, can you kind of tell which ones are going to be the posts that maybe blow up, or is it normally or typically the ones that you least expect that get the most attention?
Usually it's the ones I least expect. Some of the shots that I think are really fascinating, really great shots, seem to get no attention at all, very few likes, very few, very little engagement there. And then, there's others that, take off and almost go viral. I had a recent shot of a high school team, two high school teams. They had an injured player, and one team started praying, the other team ran across the field and joined in and
wow.
started praying. And I shared that photo on social media, and technically it wasn't a great photo, but it took off and was shared 2,000 times. So,
Wow.
it, like you said, it's kind of when you least expect it, those shots seem to hit home with somebody.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't the most technically sound photo in your opinion, but it, how they say a picture can say 1,000 words, and that's definitely a moment that will catch people's hearts.
Right.
What is your ultimate goal? You said you want to be working full time as a photographer someday. So what would be like your ideal job, or where would you want to be a photographer?
Actually, traveling is kind of where I'd like to be. I wouldn't necessarily want to be tied to one specific team, one specific location, but be able to travel, see different things. Ultimately would love to shoot the Olympic Games at some point, shoot in other countries, and shoot sports that I've never shot before.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Definitely if I seen you getting some shots of the Olympics, I know you made it for sure.
That's right.
You definitely have been doing this for a while, and I want to ask you how long have you been doing this?
So I started an interest in photography, right after high school, and played around with it for a little while. Went from the film age to the digital age, and then kind of stopped for quite a few years there. Young family, didn't really have time to get out and spend 3 or 4 hours watching a ball game, and then all the editing time. So took a break from it, and then picked it back up again about 7 or 8 years ago, and really decided I was going to really pursue it and really try to make something more than just being a casual, shooting for friends and family. I wanted to be able to venture out and do bigger things.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Do you think you would ever want to shoot anything other than sports, or is sports just, what you would want to be centered around?
I do some other things, but really the action stuff is what I like. I really enjoy being on the sidelines, the excitement of the game, catching that one moment that, could last a lifetime.
Yes, sir. For any upcoming students or, anybody that may have an interest in pursuing photography, what kind of tips would you give them in wanting to start their career in photography?
The main thing is just be persistent. Opportunities don't come around all that often, so just be persistent. When I got my start, I sent out a lot of emails, made a lot of phone calls to high school athletic directors asking for field access so I could start building my portfolio. And the key there is just building that portfolio and having the shots that it doesn't matter whether they're flag football or whether they're high school, whether they're college, but getting those shots and making good images there and having that portfolio opens a lot of doors for you.
Okay, that's some good advice. Well, thank you for joining us, Jarrod, on LUTV. And thank you for watching us on LUTV News InFocus. To see more content from LUTV News, follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.